Up on the top, standard radiator cap on the right hand corner of the radiator. Standard radiator, 50-50 glycol mix. Should be kept full right to the top. As you take the radiator cap off, the level should be almost to the bottom of the cap well. Don't open it hot. Make sure you open it when the unit's cool. The unit should be warm to the touch. Almost any place you touch the block, it should be warm. There's a jacket water heater right here. It's on right now. You can hear it boiling, and this hose will be hot. It will cool off slightly between cycles. That'll maintain your engine temperature at about 100 degrees. If the temperature should get below the low water temperature, you will get an alarm on the control panel. On the other side, we have the batteries. Batteries are sealed, so they don't require checking the water level in them. Just want to keep an eye on them, check for the cables, make sure the cables are in good shape, make sure you're not getting a lot of corrosion. There's a battery charger on the wall right behind you. That should be, there's a red light on there. That red light should be on at all times. It tells you the charger is on and working. Your volts, the meter on the bottom, should be reading somewhere between 24 and 28 volts. DC amperage will remain between 0 and 1 amp if the batteries are fully charged. If you notice that the batteries seem weak, amperage is starting to stay up above 4 or 5, you probably have an issue with the batteries and may need replacement. Minor. Fuel gauge is on the floor. Head of the fill tank. There's a big fill right there. Gauge is right on the other side of it on the floor. You gotta climb over over the fill pot to see it. You guys know what the block heater sounds like. You can hear that it's on right now.
Does the other unit have the battery warmers on it?
I believe it does. Yes, it does.
I don't remember this being here.
It may just be a little bit different setup. They will have battery warmers. They got blankets around the batteries. They got pads underneath the batteries. That's to keep the batteries warm. Battery starting abilities are rated at 80 degrees. So as your temperature goes down, your battery loses some of its rating. So they put a heater on just to maintain the most out of the batteries. These Volvos do start very well, even in the cold weather. As long as the block heater is on, is the biggest thing. If the block heater's got the engine even slightly warm, they'll light right up. It does have an exhaust fan up in the corner. It is hooked to a thermostat. So in the summertime, if it gets really baking hot in here, when the unit's not running, that will automatically open. That opens, the fan turns on, and that louver behind you will open, just to maintain a less than excessive temperature in here. It is adjustable. It's usually set around 90 degrees. If it gets up to 90 in here, the fan will kick on, pull some of the hot air out. You've got DC lights as well as AC lights in the housing. Yeah, AC lights. There's a twist dial on the wall somewhere. They hide it. Yeah, right there. If you turn that clockwise, the DC lights come on. It is a spring timer, so it'll automatically shut the lights off so you don't leave them on and kill the batteries. You'll see the battery charger jump up when you turn the lights on. Our amps are now up to 10. That's because the lights are running off the battery. You can spin that back to off and that'll drop right back down. When you'll see that amp meter jump up probably when you start it, because it takes a load out of the batteries, and you'll see them come back on. It'll come up for a second and then it'll drop down. As long as the batteries are in good condition, the alternator's got an onboard alternator that'll charge the battery. That DC will drop right off to 0. One circuit breaker, line circuit breaker on that side. That is your disconnect between the generator and the building. If for whatever reason you have some kind of big nasty failure inside the building, this is still running, you can open that breaker. That isolates the generator from the building. There's also an emergency stop. There's one on the panel, and there's a remote emergency stop Location as yet to be designated. Don't know where they're going to put it.
Now, is there an emergency shutdown on this one as well?
Yeah, there's going to be the.
On the motor itself?
No.
There isn't on this one?
No. No. This e-stop, that kills all the control functions. That will effectively, that shuts the governor off, the fuel. The control panel, again, it's identical to its sister down the road. You got a big e-stop button, panic button. When all things go wrong, hit the big red button. You got a master switch here. Same positions, always has to be in auto. Off, reset. If you're climbing up there to check the radiator or you're checking the oil, it's a good idea to put it in off so you're not standing up on the side of it and the thing happens to start. Again, it's the same as the other one. If you put it in off, you're going to get an alarm that you can't silence. That is a non-silence. And so you can't forget. Now it's showing me e-stop right now because the e-stop has been pushed. It's not online yet. Menus are the same. You access the menus in the same manner. Reset takes you to the main menu. Pick any menu. Menu 2 is your engine functions. Enter, and you arrow down, and it will take you through each reading. And back to the beginning. If you want to change menus, reset. Menu 1 is your generator monitoring. If you see an arrow in the upper right hand corner, it means there's more menus to the right. Take your right arrow and it gives you additional menus. And from each additional menu, you can scroll down and it will give you readings. And anytime you can reset the menu, it'll take you back to the main. You're looking for here, there's a system ready light that tells you everything's good. If you get any kind of warnings or alarms, it goes into low temp, any kind of shutdowns, you'll get a red light and you'll get a light here. You get the not in auto light. Anytime you take that out of auto, there's your not in auto light. We're showing a system shutdown because we have the e-stop pushed. If I pull this out, back to reset, back to auto, we have a system ready light. That tells us everything's good. We're going to leave this shut down. And that's about it. Any questions?